Shalom. First off, I want to start up by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. This all great praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, Yahushai meaning the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching truth, word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. And I wanted to touch on this whole Title 42. I saw an interesting article. And now that this whole Title 42 is ending, now you got all these people that are loosely flowing into the country, right? From everywhere. And they're getting ready to cross the border as soon as this thing goes through, seeking asylum. And the vast majority of the influx, because they've been waiting for the last 2-3 years to be able to sit here and do this. The vast influx of these people that are going to come is just going to be astounding, man. And the problem with it is, the major problem with it is you got Jake, so-called Latinos of Mexico and South America, thinking it's going to be sweet. Right? This article says, in migrant camps, anxiety and relief, it was worth it. We are in America now. I'm going to jump down into a section of this article that it talks about it. That statement right there. It says, here it is. I'll start right here. It says, outside the shelter, McAllen, Texas, Ligia Garcia pondered her family's next steps. She was elated to have finally made it across the Rio Grande, but with no family in the United States and no money, they found themselves in the same situation as thousands of other migrants along the border with Mexico, waiting while relying on the kindness of strangers. It says, we seek assistance for now because we have no money and no choice, said Garcia, 31, a Venezuelan migrant carrying her 6-month-old son, Romy, near the bulging shelter run by Catholic Charities. It was a big sacrifice to get here, she said, describing how she and her husband traveled with their 2 children across the jungle of Central America and then Mexico to reach Texas, but it was worth it. We are in America. And Jake is fucking confused, man. Jake is confused. America is a damn holding cell for Jake. This is the place of drawing waters, man. Right? Let me get this. This is the place of drawing water, the place of our captivity. Right? Judges 5 and 11 is they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing waters. Right? The noise of the archers is talking about what? Those thermonuclear missiles coming. So you're coming to a place that's supposed to get hit by thermonuclear missiles. Right? And the place of drawing waters represents captivity or slavery. Right? There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of Yahweh go down to the gates. You see, this is the place of drawing waters. This is the place of captivity. And you really have Jake sitting there coming to America, risking life and limb, going through fucking jungles, thinking it's going to be fucking sweet. I understand the situation is shit. Right? I understand the situation is shit. You think this is the best option, but man, it ain't the best situation. This is the worst possible predicament, right? This is a screenshot I took on my Snap of this dude I follow, and people really don't fucking know what the hell is going on, right? He put on here, right, this article from the New York Post. It says Republican senators want feds to explain losing 85,000 migrant kids. How do you lose 85,000 kids? And then this dude put a caption on here and said, bro, why Why am I just hearing about this? Because niggas don't think about shit else but what's in front of them. That's why they don't know about these things. Brothers talked about this stuff. The Jakes that are coming up from Central and South America, right? Trying to get into Americas, thinking that it's into the U.S. Babylon the Great, thinking it's going to be sweet. Well, this is what they got hit with. Separated from their families, their parents never going to see their kids again, right? And right here it says breaking HSS whistleblower Tara Lee Rhodes testified that the U.S. government is working as a middleman in a massive child trafficking operation. The kids in cages crowd is awfully quiet. We are not offering the children the American dream, but instead putting them in modern day slavery with wicked overlords. And that's exactly what they did. You had them come out sitting there saying that these border towns and everything that have farms, especially in Texas and Alabama, you have Louisiana, all those states, they were sitting there using the migrants who basically really had no rights. And in the U.S., according to Esau, we're sitting there just selling these people out to use them as slave labor to these farms, and they weren't able to leave. They took away their passports, their IDs, so they couldn't do shit. Well, this is the reality about coming to Babylon the Great that these people don't really realize, man. It's because the reason why they're in that mindset is because they think of Esau like he's a fucking saint, man. These Edomites are fucking devils. Straight up evil, wicked, decrepit, depraved souls, man. The scriptures tell you he had a perpetual. Let me get this. The scriptures tell you the devil has a perpetual hatred. Where is it? Ezekiel 35:5 says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. These devils have a perpetual, a never-ending hatred. There's a reason why these people can sit here and walk thousands of miles, hitchhike, no money in their hands, kid in their arms, sleep on the streets, eat next to nothing daily just to make it here, for these devils to separate whole families and them never to be able to hear from each other again. Now, when they talk about 85,000 kids missing, it made me think of this movie that's based on a book by these wicked ass devils, right? Going into the experiments between John Money and I gotta find it. Let me get the right name. Right, there were experiments between John Money, right? This is where you get your modern day sexual identity and sexology and gender identity and gender fluidity and all that sexology and all that shit. This is where you get it from. John Money and Alfred Kinsey, and this devil Alfred Kinsey, he was running experiments, and they put this in fucking college sexology books of his wicked ass experiments, where he sat there and basically tested to see how many ejaculations people could have at any certain age, even all the way down to the age of 3. But this devil was never thrown into jail, and he has books, and he's propped up as a major figure in academia, saying, oh yeah, a child at the age of 3, according to him in his books, right? According to him in his research, damn devil, depraved motherfucker, man. The scriptures tell you it says, for there is no more. How does it go? It's in the New Testament, man. Yeah, here it is. Here it is, Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel sold his birthright." This devil is the chief profane fornicator of earth, right? Because this dude, Alfred Kinsey, made a whole book detailing all his wicked acts to see how many fucking orgasms somebody can have before they die. And he went through children to see how many they can have. 3-year-olds. They ran experiments with this dude, David Reimer, right? You can look up a video of it where they botched a circumcision or something, to where they had to they decided just to remove his whole junk as a child, and he grew up, and they tried to raise him as a girl to the point where he got to those adult ages, and even in his child ages, and he didn't feel right in his body. He went through all type of depression, everything. His parents lied to him, all because these devils said, "Hey, yeah, do it. This is a good experiment," right? Long story short, the dude ended up committing suicide because he never felt right in his own fucking body. And that all comes off of the back of these devils, man. But with all this 85,000, right? It said 85,000 migrant kids went missing, losing. They lost 85,000 migrant children. How the hell do you lose 85,000? One or two I can understand. Maybe even 100 out of that great number. But you lost 85,000? God damn, man. And it had me thinking about this fucking book and movie. Oh, man. Salakia. But the movie, I don't know if I got this in there. But the movie that it reminded me of just 85,000 kids going. I didn't hit record again after I found it. It's the Solo 120 Days of Sodom, which is based on the experiments that Alfred Kinsey did, and all these Edomites. Basically, it's about, since you should watch it, I mean, best thing you do probably is just look up a review of it, because this is some depraved shit. But these devils outside of the temple, they did all type of debauchery in this movie, to where they just took the poor off the streets, kidnapped them, brought them to this mansion with all these rich ass Edomites, and they were put under the threat of death to do all this depraved sexual shit. Talk about murder, freaking off with poop, and sex with corpses, everything, man. All types of depraved shit, man. All type of depraved shit they put in this. With 85,000 kids that went missing, a good number of them, right? A good number of them probably wound up in situations like this, man. That's the shit that's wild, man. A great number of them probably ended up situations just like that. But you got Jake really trusting in this devil, because what it says, Isaiah 30:1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, say Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may sin to sin." They're covering with everything but the Lord. Right? They're still praying to Jesus Christ, but you got brothers that are out there preaching in Mexico. I'm damn sure that they rode across them brothers. It says that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. This woman trusts, right? This woman and a lot more of them down there trust in Esau, and think that he's this benevolent person, this benevolent soul, that he does all this great work around the world. Well, you're going to get the chance to figure out that this dude is a fucking devil, man. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." All right, I'm going to jump down to 5. It says, they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be any help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to be brought to shame and reproach trusting in these devils, man. Trusting in these devils is going to bring you great shame and reproach. It's not going to wind up the way you think it's going to wind up. Right? It's going to be all type of hell. These devils are not to be trusted. The scriptures tell you not to trust the devil. But you got Jake doing it, man. And that's the damn problem. Right? This is you can't trust a profane ass nigga, man. And read this one more time. It says Hebrews 12:16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. He's the chief fornicator, the chief profane nigga in the world, and you got Jake really running their ass down here or up here to the US, thinking it's gonna be sweet and it's gonna be better. It's not. Right? You trusting in the shadow of Egypt. You trusting in this broken reed, right? You get that. Isaiah 36:6, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand. That's America. It's a broken reed where anybody who puts any type of trust in it to lean up against it, they all get the same treatment. It says it will go into his hand and pierce it. That's how it is. That's how America is. It's a place where if you put your trust in this place, it's going to pierce you. It's going to hurt you. Right? It's going to cause harm. These people, it caused harm. Right? In this article, look at what she said. Look at what she said. It says, HHS whistleblower Tara Lee Rhodes testified that the U.S. government is working as a middleman in a massive child trafficking operation. The kids' cage is crowded. It's awfully quiet. We are not offering the children the American dream, but instead putting them in modern day slavery with wicked overlords. This is exactly what's happening. This is exactly what's happening. Right? So if you trust in this place, it's going to go right into you. It's going to pierce you through. It's going to cause you harm. That's what it is. There's going to be certain of these Jakes that come up here from wherever they're at throughout the world in this whole, all of the backs of this Title 42, that some of them are going to get the word. Some of them are going to get the word. Some of them are actually going to take heed. But a lot more, right? It says, wide is the gate that leadeth to destruction. A lot more are going to just be coming here for judgment, man. A lot more, man. Right? The scriptures tell you in the book of Lamentation, Lamentation 4, and I'll get to the point. 17, it says, as for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help, and our watching we watch for a nation that could not save us. And that's the problem with Jake. They keep watching for the heathen Esau Edom, who's only, his whole history has been to shit on you. Stop watching fucking movies, right? Stop watching fucking movies and acting like all the good that Esau props himself up in these movies to be is the truth. Look at the fucking history. These devils have been a literal devil from the get-go, man. He's had a perpetual hatred, as the scriptures say. You're not going to get around that. Right? You're not going to get around that, man. Let me get this. I'm in on this. This is Hosea 9:13. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, right? Because when you go to the south, through Mexico, South America, these are lands that can grow abundance of food. Even though Esau's there fucking up the water and everything, right, with their plants and everything. But Mexico, man, Mexico can grow a shit ton of food. For a long time, for a very long time, Mexico's been supplying the U.S. with hella food, right? Even before that, you had the Esau, the Dole Company, right? That started off in Mexico by them basically stealing them land. Why? Because Mexico was a fruitful place. It was a pleasant place. South America, pleasant place. Abundance in resources, abundance in crops and yield, right? It's planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. And that's exactly what's going to happen now, man. Shalom.